and welcome to Herd at Health. I'm with Dan Vahdat, CEO of Huma Health, a global health tech company focusing on remote patient monitoring and decentralized clinical trials. So you are a health tech company based in London but have offices in New York, Shanghai, and Hamburg. Can you give us a sense of how RPM technologies are being adopted globally?
Sure, thanks for having us. It's a really unique journey for us because we started 10 years ago to bring technologies that can help patients to do what they need to do. Being able, through a technology like a mobile phone, tells patients when to do something. And for us, the focus was, how can we make a patient-first experience, something that they really want to go to it, and connect them to their care team so that they get the value back. And then after some deployments, we showed that evidence are there, we can reduce mortality, we can increase adherence, and all the good stats, which that led into us, as of today, being the largest player, having 3,000 hospitals and clinics, 1.8 million patients actively being looked after on top of all of our platforms.
But then again, to go back to the question a little bit, do you think there's the same movement towards adoption of RPM here in the US as it is in the rest of the world, or is the rest of the world a little further behind the US in terms of adoption?
I think US is ahead because of the reimbursement model and also the amount of money being invested on each patient per capita. So we are really, really excited about the stuff we do in the US, but also we always wanted to have a play and a technology that can impact every patient. Patients in a more privileged country, but also patients in developing countries. So in a sense, we wanted to, at some point, to touch everyone's.
Now, clinical trial participation has been a problem all over the world and certainly a problem here in the US. And during the pandemic, we saw a real movement towards decentralized clinical trials. So can you describe for us what is the hallmark of a good DCT strategy?
I think the most important is having an interface that ultimately patients want to interact. So being able to engage and adhere patients. So that's one key component. The other component, one of the biggest challenges of any clinical trial is recruitment, especially diverse recruitment, which again, DCT can make it really, really simple because you can do a lot of stuff at home instead of needing to go to the site all the times. Making it simple by telling patients what are the expectations, onboarding them in a very seamless way. It helps, every little things help, and then when you do 10 things really well for the patient, suddenly you have an experience that is success, rather than some studies that historically would have been failure from the recruitment perspective or engagement of the participants.
Now you are a global company, like you said, but you're based in London and you're here at Health. So that leads me to assume that you want to expand in the US. Can you talk about your goals for 2023?
Sure, we've been working on the US market for several years because US is one of the most important and largest markets, both for the clinical trial but also health side. Now that we have emerged into some really strategic partnership with companies like AstraZeneca, some of the big pharmacy chains and so on, we are really excited to become category leader in a number of therapeutics area on the RPM side, asthma, COPD, cardiovascular, oncology. These are the four that we hopefully next year, by this time, we will be one of the biggest player in this space. And we are already on the right track. On the clinical trial side, we've been very lucky to have the trust of pharma companies. We have powered world's largest DCTs for AstraZeneca, our Future Health initiatives, that is like 5 million participants we are working on. And we want to just double down on that and become even more impactful company.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us at MedCity News today.